Hi, I'm Trevor, and in this video we're going to look at the answer to the question, how can I tell when I'm hypnotised? Because a lot of people ask that kind of question. They wonder how they can tell when they're hypnotised, and to be honest, it's not an easy question to answer, because if you've ever daydreamed, you've already hypnotised yourself, but most people wouldn't count that as being in a hypnotic state whilst they were daydreaming. And same goes for if you've ever been on a car journey where you remember leaving somewhere and getting somewhere else but don't really remember much else, if anything, about the journey. You were kind of elsewhere during the journey, but you were aware of what was going on around you, and if there'd been anything serious that you needed to react to, your conscious mind would have instantly come back to help you. But during the journey, your mind was elsewhere entirely, most if not all the time. And the same goes for being hypnotised in an arranged hypnotherapy session. You're in a different place every time you go undergo hypnosis. And that's because our minds are busy things, and it's really rare for us to be in the same place in our mind twice. A bit like every snowflake is unique. Same happens with being in a place in our mind. That place is pretty much unique. You might think your feeling is exactly the same as you felt on a previous occasion, but there'll be subtle or not so subtle differences that mean your mind will react completely differently. And that means every hypnosis session is a very individual thing. In some sessions you'll feel as though you haven't been hypnotised at all, and if you ever got to talk with some of the people who feature on Derren Brown's shows, they'd claim they hadn't been hypnotised by him, and Derren Brown, because of his views, would probably claim the same thing. But their subconscious mind was definitely reacting to the various conditions and suggestions that he placed there, and you can see that because he pretty much knows how they're going to react, and that is hypnotic programming, whether he wants to term it differently or not. And that's pretty much what happens when you're hypnotised. So to all intents and purposes, that was the case, as I said, for the people on the show, regardless of what they thought or what Derren Brown thought. But in other hypnosis sessions, you won't consciously remember what happened in the session. You might remember arriving for it, or you should do. You'll probably remember closing your eyes and the start of the induction process, and then the next thing you'll consciously remember is being brought back to the real world at the end of the session. Kind of a bit like some of the films you watched as a child where you were totally engrossed in what was happening on screen, and you jumped when you were supposed to jump and reacted, all that kind of thing. And by the nature of these things, your hypnosis session could be at those 2 points or anywhere between those two extremes. You might notice near enough everything was happening, near enough nothing, or something in between. And the trick is, like a lot of things, don't worry too much about whether or not you're hypnotised. In fact, that is a very good approach, because you could be hypnotised all over the place in lots of different things. Adverts do it as well. They just don't tell you. But the mere act of not worrying about it will actually help you to become more relaxed and open to the hypnotic suggestions that are being planted, literally planted, in your mind. So chill out a bit, go with the flow, and regardless of your precise state of mind, a hypnosis session is normally an enjoyable experience, and the end result is definitely worth getting. And if you'd like a hypnosis session, that could be for anything from weight loss to fears and phobias to confidence to near enough anything you want to sort out, any issues you've got going on in your life at the moment, give me a call. I'm Trevor, and the best number is 07967 478 272, and you can book your session on that number with me. That's Trevor on 07967 478 272. Look forward to hypnotising you soon.